special formulas come. It's just like this. I was 34 years old. I was going through a divorce, and I had moved counties. I had two older girls. I am very, very manic bipolar. I thought I was done having children. I was a bit older, and like I said, I'm manic bipolar. So it was a whole lot to take in when I found out I was pregnant. I was considering abortion, adoption. Um, I felt like my life was in shambles at the time, and I didn't think I could raise another child. I didn't think I could do this again. Um, I was speaking to a neighbor of mine, and that's who told me about the pregnancy center. So I just walked in. I thought I was going to ask you guys about abortion or adoption. One of your very, very sweet volunteers with no judgment, no shame, nothing but a smile and a hand that held me while I cried. She just talked to me, and by the end of the visit, I felt confident. I felt confident that I could give it a try. I would have went somewhere else to inquire about abortion or adoption. I was so scared. So that was my biggest fear. How am I going to raise another child when I'm not on steady medication, or I don't have counseling because I didn't have insurance? I had called many places to ask for help for mental health. Finding it without money, it's almost impossible, it feels like, until I found the center. At first, I seen one counselor, and she was so sweet. She answered all my questions. And then I started seeing other counselors at the center. Everyone has such a different personality, and they're all amazing. Each one has their own story to tell. And that's very, very helpful to me. I like the older volunteers because, as a mom, I thought I knew it all. Oh, no, you don't. And they're able to share their stories and be very helpful, and they have so much more knowledge than I could ever imagine. So actually, I went from thinking that more children would make my life worse. These children saved my life. I am so happy I didn't make the choice that I made, especially with my son. That's the one I considered, abortion or adoption. He's the breath that I breathe. I love him so much. And with him, God made him a little bit special. And that has taught me so much in life. And I'm so grateful to the center because without these two little guys, there's no telling where I would be. When you guys introduced me to the mental health program, after I had Levi, I was a big game changer. I was a big game changer, and that is the most precious program. I think a lot of women are scared to even ask about a mental health program because in a lot of facilities, you feel judged. I felt judged. I felt scared to tell somebody, hey, I feel crazy. But at the center, you feel completely different. And it's a life changer. It's a lifesaver. For me, it was a lifesaver. With manic depression, thoughts of ending things are very, very big with that. When you have a counselor to walk into and you can tell her how you feel without them giving you a yucky face or feeling any type of judgment, It saved my life. You know, it's not just the food, the diapers, forever grateful for all of that, but it's the ladies that smile when you walk in. It's the feeling of home. So when I walked into the Family Life and Pregnancy Center, I thought it was just going to be, you know, food, some diapers, things like that. I had no idea that there was even a mental health program. I didn't know until I started talking to a counselor, and she guided the way. You're changing 1,000 lives, 1,000,000 lives. Whoever walks through that door, they have the weight of the world on their shoulders. When they leave, you're feeding so many bellies. You're helping so many ladies like me. So many children that don't have a pair of sneakers. Or for myself, I remember one holiday I asked Miss Stephanie, do you have a hairbrush? I didn't even have a brush. I didn't have soap. I didn't have anything. So if you are a donor, you're saving so many lives, not just mentally, but physically and all the way around.
Amazing.